Hey, BookTube. I did it. I actually finished a sequel to a book I just reviewed, and it was so much better than the first one. You could tell that the author really sat down and thought, how can I make the sequel better? It was a sequel to the Marla Mason. This one's called Poison Sleep. It's number 2. And this one, Marla Mason, the Sorceress of Sorceress of Felport, actually has another assassin out to kill her again. It's like so regular for her. Just normal weekly routine, I guess. But Marla Mason is under attack by another sorcerer who wants her position. So he hires a slow killing assassin who apparently kills people in a really slow, torturous way over months to bring her demise. So she is trying to find this assassin, trying to evade him. And meanwhile, their version of Arkham, this asylum for sorcerers who have lost their mind or went power hungry and need to be kept locked up, of course, someone escapes. She has to find that person. She actually runs into that person who's a psychic who has a very traumatic past, a lot like Marla, so she connects with her. But she figures the only way to stop her is to unfortunately kill her, which ends up being a problem because the assassin who's after Marla connects with the psychic who dragged him into her world through touching him, and when he goes to sleep, I believe he enters her world and actually finds her endearing and wants to protect her. Because I guess even the assassins are softies sometimes. Unfortunately, Marla believes she has to kill Genevieve, who is the traumatized psychic, because she is running this from Belport and touching people and bringing more chaos to the city than death itself. So, unfortunately, she's after her. Luckily, Zealand meets up with Marla. He's trying to kill her, and they actually have a nice conversation. And it was so interesting because they actually became joined the same team to save Genevieve. They came together because they really thought this wasn't her fault. So the rest of the book, those two and amongst others are working together. I can really tell that the author really sat down and thought, how can I make this better? The characters are more developed. The story was more interesting. I like that at first you think Genevieve, is a crazed villain, and then you hear her story and you realize she's just a girl who needs help. So I really enjoyed that. A couple things I didn't like was there's a lot of new characters, and I kept getting confused because they weren't as developed. There was a love talker who I found interesting, and a love talker in this book series is a sorcerer who can basically convince people to do whatever he wants because he just has the most amazing pheromones. He's like the cute guy in all those movies that the girl just fawns over. And I found that really interesting, but the issue was halfway through the book, there's a traitor amongst them because the people who hired Zealand, the person who was hired to kill Marla, have information that no one knew except in the group with Marla. So she knew one of these two new characters was a traitor. She didn't believe it was this love talker because she was in an intimate relationship with him. But as soon as it happened, I knew he was the traitor. It was pretty obvious. And as soon as she fell for him or his pheromones in the first few chapters, I knew he was going to betray her. And you could just tell because he was too perfect. I thought that was a little predictable. I thought the author could do better. And he was in and out of the book, but he was just like this perfect guy who was for Marla. And he was 100% supporting her. And he showed up just in time to save her, help her. And I don't know, it just seemed too fishy, like he's too good to be true. Maybe that reflects on me and my love life, I don't know. Or my book life, because I've seen that in a lot of books. Not sure. But she's a closed off character because she's had a traumatic past, which is why she connected with Genevieve. So the fact that she gave in the first few chapters to this love talker and ended up dating and being, intimate, I found it a little it didn't fit the character. I thought she'd be a little more standoffish, and at first she was, but then she just was like, why not? This will be fun. And not to the end when he actually killed a new worker who I really liked. I was really upset when he killed him. The Love Talker killed this other worker of Marla's in front of her, and he said, "I'm the betrayer. They hired me, blah, blah, blah. I was doing this all along, and you still love me even as I'm telling you this." And she said yes, but of course she ends up being stronger than like him and killing him, and it's a happy moment because we hate him. But it was just a little unconvincing to me that she'd fall into his like love spell right away. One thing I really did like is people start being scared of going to sleep because when they do, they enter this terrifying world that Genevieve has unfortunately brought them into with a touch while she's running around the city, which is happening to random people throughout the city just when they meet her. And I actually have something called congenital central hyperventilation syndrome, which can kind of causes the same fear at times to fall asleep, because when I'm asleep or even awake, the part of my brain that tells you to breathe does not work. So sometimes when I'm too focused, and especially at night, I can just stop breathing. And anything like even around Elm Street, anything with some kind of fear factor of sleeping, I really relate to because I've had that my whole life a little bit. Down to the nitty-gritty. Will I continue to read this series? I don't think so. If I was a few years younger when I first started out reading urban fantasy, I think I would have thought it was a lot better than I do now. After reading Mercy Thompson series and Rachel Morgan series, it's really hard to please me. So this was like a nice read. It was a quick read. The characters are decent. The story is decent. But will I remember it in 10 years? Probably just vaguely. Would I stress someone giving a gift? Maybe not. It was nice. And it was definitely a step up from the first. Like I said, you could really tell he was trying. And I really appreciate that in authors because so many times I start a series, I'm like, oh, maybe the next one will be better. Maybe the next one. And it's not. This is probably the first time this has happened with a series in a few years for me. I'm not like hungry for what's going to happen next, like with some of my other urban fantasies. T.A. Pratt did a good job, and I'm proud of him for really stepping up his game on this one. Good job. So thanks for watching, and I'll try to be back soon with another read. It won't be Marla Mason, but it'll probably be something urban fantasy because that's my jam. So thanks. See you later.